Okay, I think we are ready to get started with our new moon in Cancer magical meeting. Record here as well. Make sure we are prepared. So welcome everybody again. Today we are here to talk about the upcoming new moon in Cancer. A very important one because this is the home sign of the moon. So in a way, it's more important. And yeah, we will talk about how we can use this energy, what it's about, what to focus on, and even just the understanding and the intention that something new can begin is also very helpful. So if you're here with us, if you're watching later this video, you are kind of like tuning into this energy as well. And for you, it might be, and probably will be, a very personal new beginning. So yes, we will talk about the general themes and they may resonate with you as well, but also stay open for your very own unique experience. And what is important also to consider here with the new moon in Cancer is that it's not the best time to rely completely on our logic. So even now, being here or watching the video, what you need is not so much the information, as the rational ideas like, oh, I need to follow this, I need to plan this, prepare, details. Like, we don't really need this. What we need the most right now is to open and to feel. And we might as well spend most of this time even in silence, but we won't probably. But in silence, you may also really feel and find some important, we might call them insights or messages or whatever you really need right now. So this probably should be like, the subtitle of our meeting. Allow yourself to feel and allow your mind to relax. Also, I think that this is like something that almost everybody would need to, allow your mind to switch off a little bit in a nice, healthy way. Okay. And we don't need to control so much the process. We don't really need, the rational understanding. The new moon in Cancer is more about allowing yourself to feel. First of all, to feel what comes from inside, always the most important, always the foundation. And then when and if you're ready, also to feel the external, whatever this might mean. Close people around you, the atmosphere, the mood, all of it. But first, again, we start from within. You might notice also even though this can be, of course, personal and different for people, but very often when we have lots of Cancer energy, like right now, we might be kind of distracted. Actually, this is probably a nice place to say that the Bach Flowers and Astrology course is now open for enrollment. And this is a unique way to help yourself with different emotional states and all kinds of stressful emotions, all of this. So the Bach flower, which is related to Cancer, because we have one remedy, one Bach flower, which is related to each of the 12 signs, and also 7 more, which are related to the 7 visible planets. So the flower, which is for Cancer, is called Clematis. And this is an essence which helps us when we are not grounded, when we are too spacey, distracted, unmotivated, maybe sometimes a little bit lazy, or we just, prefer our own dreams and fantasies, and we don't really like so much the reality, especially if we feel like the reality is kind of harsh. Hi, hello to everybody. So we might feel this energy right now. We might feel a little bit spacey and ungrounded. And I'm not saying also that we should try to, cut this completely and change it and, become completely grounded. And I do believe that, each sign has a particular energy and we really need this energy. At the same time, also, we know there are no good and no bad signs, but each energy has a more constructive side and not so constructive side. So, for example, with the Cancer energy right now, the non-constructive side could be about escaping and avoiding reality. And in a way, what's interesting is that we are also isolating ourselves by, escaping in some dreams, fantasies. We can isolate ourselves. So this is the not so constructive side. The more constructive side, which again would include, the dreams and the fantasies, but with the intention to do something with them, about them in reality. Or we might as well call this inspiration. So here, I think it would be very helpful if you try to be as honest as you can with yourself, not with us, not with other people, with yourself. And try to feel, again, you need to feel this. It's not about the logic, and try to feel, where are you right now? And it's not just, this or that, it could be a mixture. But by recognizing, you might make a decision. So honesty that comes from connecting with yourself. That's also one of the themes of Cancer, connecting with your inner world, with your inner needs. one of the great themes also to work with is the inner child. Always, almost always relevant and important. This is extremely important also for people who generally kind of struggle with emotional states, bad moods, or ups and downs, or emotional instability. If you recognize yourself in this, then one of the important themes to work with is the inner child, because this is quite typical for children. Like literally, you know, in the human development, the psychological development, we know that it's very typical for children. 1 minute they are happy, the next one they are sad, they cry, they smile. Their mood is, an emotional state is very unstable and it changes a lot. This is very normal for, you know, this stage of development. And if we continue to, you know, live with this pattern, and here there's absolutely no need and place for judgment. You know, I'm a Cancer ascendant, and I can openly admit that very often I have those, like, and there's nothing to be ashamed of, I believe. But if you recognize yourself also in those emotional shifts, emotional instability, and all of that, perhaps it's very important for you to work with the inner child, because you might have an inner child within yourself that is upset, mad, or feeling abandoned, or 100 other things. If the inner child is healed, our emotions should be quite stable. Of course, we are not robots, statues, you know, we are not supposed to live, you know, like this flat. Of course not. You know, life is always like a wave. But the question is, how do you feel? Like, if this is a nice, comfortable wave, you know, sometimes you're more excited, other times you feel more neutral, but it's kind of not like, you know, soft, and none of those states are exhausting or, you know, like painful. Then that's okay. It's just a sign that you are alive and you are feeling, you know, live. But if you notice that, you know, the moods or your states are changing drastically over the day or over the week, or, you know, in different time frames, and if some of those states are really difficult or painful, or kind of like they control you, then this is an indication that you need to take care of your inner state. Again, one of the main directions probably will be your inner child, but there could be other themes to work on and to explore as well. And this new moon is a fantastic time. As usual, each new moon is a great time for setting goals, like literally, you know, I want to achieve this and that, and, you know, the general advice to be as concrete as possible. Okay, this is one way, not a bad way. But with this new moon, I think that we can use a different approach to allow ourselves to feel more. And maybe we don't need that much words about this or for this, but more like to set the intention. If you can do it right now, we might try, it may work, but if not literally right now, then a little later when you are on your own, or at any, you know, appropriate time for you, try to get yourself into the emotional state that you would like to consider as your goal, the emotional state that you would like to be in most of the time. You might meditate or have other, techniques that work for you, that can relax you. But I think that this could be even better for this new moon, not to define, the words, but instead to try to feel your goal. If your goal is also you want to work on something practical, I don't know, like, for example, let's say you want to have kids or something else which is Cancer related or somehow resonates with your chart. Again, you might start with the idea, with the focus. Okay, I want to have a family, or I want to improve the connection with my children or have children, whatever it might be. But once you are clear on, on the external, then try again to get yourself into the feeling, the inner state. How would I be feeling if I already have this? I have a perfect home, or a happy family, or I feel the connection with my kids, or I have kids, whatever it might be for you. And to really allow yourself to feel. And this is what you should remember, not so much, the words, the explanations, but how it feels inside. This dream is already, manifested. Yes, Cancer is all about feeling and connecting and recognizing your intuition, your inner needs. A wonderful thing to work on, like generally for everybody, might be self-care, nurturing. But even if you want to be more nurturing for your kids or your loved ones or anybody else, you also need to start with yourself. Always. Like, that's just how things work. You can't give if you are not resourceful, and you can't be resourceful if you haven't taken care of yourself. So for some people, this could be a time to slow down a little bit, to reconsider. It's interesting that the transit Jupiter is squaring the new moon. Okay, so this is also one reason why I believe it's not the time, or at least it's not the best approach, to do it only as a, I want to have this, I want to achieve this, but it's more about, okay, but how do you want to feel? What do you really want? Because whatever you want to accomplish or have in the outside world, the ultimate goal is some kind of a state that you want to experience. We might generalize this as, some kind of fulfillment or happiness or peace, or you might have different words to describe it. But at the end, you want to feel in a certain way, or you might want to feel accomplished or successful or whatever. But at the end, that's what we all want. Even if we think that we want money, what we really want is to feel the feeling, that having money would bring to us. So it's very, very helpful and important also to connect and find this feeling that you are really pursuing, that you are dreaming about, that you really want. So yes, Cancer, new moon. Something also interesting is that the Black Moon Lilith is in conjunction with this new moon, very, very close, 1-2 degrees away. So what does that mean? First of all, Lilith is not a real object, but it is a trigger for sure. And the main influence of Lilith is that it makes things more important. That applies, to the birth chart if you, analyze your Lilith, or in a transit situation, or like right now, the new moon. Lilith, the first thing that we can say is it makes things more important. So, yes, the Cancer moon is, and all of those themes that we are discussing, emotional state, balance, they are even more important right now. From a social perspective, I think that this new moon, Lilith being also in Cancer, very close to the new moon, is related to this big topic about abortions and, birth control, all of that. Yes, this is the new moon, and this is Lilith in reality. The story about Lilith is extremely interesting, like the myth and all of that. I have 2 webinars on this theme when we are discussing that in details, but I will try to share like a little bit of a summary. So the story about Lilith is that she has been the very first woman, not Eve, she. But she hasn't been treated as equal to Adam. So eventually she got mad and she left the gardens. But there are many consequences of that. One of which is that she has been, let me find the words. She has been considered to be dangerous for babies, for newborn babies. Like literally, that's the story. And in some traditions, there are like rituals to share gifts for Lilith before or during a birth process, so she spares the baby, so she doesn't, do anything out of, feeling mad or as a revenge. So obviously that's even more relevant to the social theme that we are experiencing, observing, seeing in the social environment. So Lilith can trigger also some kind of darker themes. She has a little bit of, or maybe not that little, of Scorpio energy. So there is something, related to the shadow, to, for women, this would be, the archetype, like the opposite of Eve, the archetype of, the slut, or, the woman who is, putting herself first, and she knows what she wants, and she's not, allowing others to control her. She doesn't consider herself as less than men. Like, that's all the archetype of Lilith. So the archetype of Lilith is not negative. Like Pluto is also not negative. Basically, nothing in astrology is negative. There are different sides. And yes, when Lilith is unappreciated, she can be, pretty upset, and there could be consequences. Of course, here, those are metaphors, like Lilith is not doing anything to us. Those are energies that we experience. And it's also important, if we are open to, right now, around this new moon, to recognize our own shadow. And especially in a personal way, probably in a social way and context as well. The feminine role, the feminine position. What does it mean to be a woman? It's a huge topic. What we can do is, of course, start with the personal, especially for women. That would be more relevant. I guess for men as well, they can interpret from a different perspective, like how they see women and all of that. But yeah. And whenever we talk about Lilith, we cannot, miss also Eve, the archetype of Eve. So it's a little bit like, they are considered as the bad and the good, but one cannot exist without the other. So from a personal perspective, what we might do is try to go deeper into our feelings, our understandings about what femininity is. Are there parts that we also would like to, get rid of? We judge them. We don't like this. We should not be like this. Are we trying to fulfill some kind of, fake model? Because Eve is also a fake model because she's just one side. The other side is Lilith. So this is like a general principle. If we go to one extreme, it's unavoidable also to connect to the opposite one. And if we resist, it will come with some kind of, destructive impulse. So if we try to be, too good, to please other people, to make sacrifices, we forget about ourselves. We try to be, a good, decent woman. Not a good idea, because the archetype of Lilith will get mad, metaphorically speaking, and it can manifest in different ways. One way is it may affect the body, especially, feminine energy, feminine organs. It can affect our relationships, if we try to be too good with other people, but we don't recognize the other impulses, we might attract people who would treat us, in a bad way. So not an easy task, but I think it can be especially fulfilling, because what Lilith brings and wants is the truth. Like, initially, that's why she has been mad and, she has left the gardens, because she has felt like, something that belongs to her has been taken away or has not been acknowledged. So what we need to do is acknowledge. It doesn't mean that we should be slaves to our negative impulses and, act like a bitch, or I don't know, be a horrible person or be extremely selfish. No, absolutely not. But to recognize what you need, what you want, and then make a decision. You might decide, okay, I may want this on a certain level, but it's not the time, or it's whatever. But to be very honest with yourself, I think that this is like ultimately the best thing we can do right now, and probably ever as well. To be very, very honest with ourselves about our needs, about our desires. And Cancer is also an archetype which is very much related to stability in the sense of security. So again, to explore this, what do we need to feel secure internally, externally as well? Of course, we live in the material world, so that's also relevant. And again, you can work in the same way. Connect to the feeling that you want the most, that you need the most. That's the healthiest thing you can do. Okay. You might want to check also if the new moon is triggering something personally for you. Let me give you the exact degree. Is the 8th degree of Cancer. The new moon in Cancer is on the 8th degree, and it's happening on the 28th. So basically today, around 11 p.m. Eastern time. So you might want to do it today. You can do it tomorrow, whenever you feel like doing it. But spend a little bit of time with yourself, with your emotions, with your state. Another thing, so I said that Jupiter is squaring the new moon, but there are a few other aspects which are minor aspects, but still relevant. The most interesting for me is the bisextile with Neptune. The bisextile is a very rare, unique aspect. It belongs to the group of the karmic aspects, so it really is a special one. And it's also opening the door to some kind of, spiritual energies, insights. I think it can help us to go deeper. But again, it comes through the feeling and the inner experience. Neptune is absolutely not about rationalizing the mind, the explanations, feeling like you control it and, here is your truth. Like, not about Neptune, no. Neptune is about, oh boy, it's about everything. It's about how we are all connected. It's about the chaos and also the creative potential that comes with it. It's about healing and the inspiration and the creativity and the no boundaries state. So it can be magical. It can be confusing and the illusions, we know that. But, a bisextile and Neptune, like, that's a very special combination. So another suggestion I have for you also is to pay close attention to your dreams. I mean, the dreams when you are sleeping. Tonight, whatever tonight would be for you, whenever you're watching this, so the next time you go to sleep, set an intention before you actually fall asleep. You might want to understand something, whatever you need. You might ask for guidance, for intuition, for some kind of truth, whatever you feel like. And also another advice, don't spend too much time on planning and, thinking, oh, what should I, set as an intention? Let me evaluate. Like, no. Prepare for bed and just allow yourself to relax and see what shows up. It will be the right one. it would be something that you are generally thinking about, so you're not surprised, but it might be also something new. So see what would be, your desire at the moment, and just set this intention without too much expectations, without pressure. If it's the time, then it will happen. And ask for guidance, advice inside, in your sleep. And keep in mind that, dreams, they are also a whole other complicated and fascinating story. And we do remember some of our dreams, and many of our dreams we don't remember. We don't understand logically as well, because it's the subconscious mind. So be open to the idea that you might actually wake up and have the understanding or the feeling, consciously, or not. It's possible that this whole process may happen on the subconscious level, that it needs to happen, and you wouldn't need, this understanding. So set your intention and go to bed peacefully, knowing that the magic will happen. You may or may not understand it consciously in the morning, and that's okay. That's Neptune and a bisextile, and how we can use it. The other interesting aspect is with Venus, minor supportive aspect, semi-sextile, which is again about emotional matters, femininity, of course, love, relationships. Oh, and also interesting moment here. Venus is in Gemini right now. So Gemini is also about sharing and verbalizing. So one thing we can work on is also to share our desires or our emotions with other people, with our partners or loved ones or friends, or with ourselves. So if you feel like doing it, you might use some kind of a journal, spend a little time with this, trying to express, to first of all feel, and then try to put it on the page for yourself. Or you might want to share it with someone else. It's okay as well. But eventually, the idea here is also to have a better feeling about yourself and your desires. So that's the Venus part. And there was one more with Mars. I believe it was a quintile. Yes, quintile between the new moon and Mars. The quintile is a creative aspect. And creative aspect means, yes, it could be something different, innovative, but also creative aspects, they bring choices. So we might choose to take some different actions and different steps, and to use our willpower in a different way, in a unique way. Okay, so Mars is still in Aries. Mars is very strong. Mars is very powerful right now. The new moon as well, especially because the moon is there, the ruler of Cancer. So the creative aspect between those planets and, those particular signs is also about finding the balance and doing what you really want, First of all, to protect yourself. Cancer is about, again, security, safety, protection, the people you love, and to feel the resource that you are capable of doing it. You don't need to do it, in a harsh way, fighting with the world type of way, but to, to get to, or to connect to the feeling that you also have your own willpower. And, you're not just like a leaf and, the wind is blowing and you go wherever the wind, blows. No, you also have this resource of Mars, the resource of having your willpower and being able to use it in the way that you want. Mars in Aries. So what do you want? And this is also very beautiful. As a combination, Cancer and Aries, like how this can work in a constructive way, to find the balance between kind of like affirmative, strong willpower expressed also in a gentle, kind, and compassionate way. So it means that, if somebody is attacking you or wants to take advantage of you, you will protect yourself and everything that matters to you. But at the same time, you don't need to respond with aggression. You don't need to do it in a way that would make you feel bad about yourself. So it's really like, what was this expression? I forgot the exact expression. It was about the velvet glove. But what was the hand in the velvet glove? You know what I mean. So strength and gentleness kind of like combined in a very nice way. New moon in Cancer with some Aries, Mars in Aries support. So yeah, set your intentions, but even better, feel whatever you want to feel. If you have any questions, I would love to answer them. You might type your questions in the chat. Okay. And one of the greatest tools we can use also for emotional balance is or are the Bach flower remedies. So yes, right now you can sign up for, there are 2 modules which explore Bach flowers and astrology working together. Amazing. And I'm actually, this is such a synchronicity and coincidence, if you will, that the Bach flowers are actually a very soft method. It's really like, the Cancer energy. I wouldn't say that, Bach flowers are described just by one archetype, like they really combine the 12 archetypes, but the way they influence the person is very gentle. So if you're not familiar with the work of Dr. Bach, very unique person who has created this method by using only natural resources, flowers, trees. The only exception is the rock water, which is something different besides, flowers and trees. So there is a special way to get the, to extract the essence. And then the magic happens when we find the best mixture. So how to combine the flowers, because each of them has a unique energy and something that can, help us with. But the real magic is when you combine a few of them. That would be the most, the best for you, for your current state at the moment. So yes, if you have any questions about the Bach flowers, I would love to answer them. And actually, you can watch the first lecture for free. So let me see if I can find, I'm not sure if I will be able to post the link here. Yes, I think it should work. Let me post it also on Zoom. So you can watch also the first lecture for free about the flowers. Mm-hmm. Thank you, Lori. Yes, the movements are so gentle. Yeah. Yes, clematis is great for clinging mommy energy or desperation. Yeah. Yes, the Cancer energy is, of course, the dominant one. Yes, Mars is like a helper on the, on the background, but Cancer is, yeah, the main flow of the energy. Yes, like it can be so beautiful and peaceful. You know what also Cancer teaches us? To allow ourselves to just be and feel. That's why we might say, okay, like the negative side is like laziness and passiveness. Okay, if we overdo it, we might get into this corner. But the positive side of this is to allow yourself to relax and to feel at peace. And sometimes, just to feel without this, without all the other distractions and, your schedule and obligations and all of that. We have an interesting expression. It may sound a little strange in English. In Bulgarian, it's also strange, but it's a little funny. Work is not a horse. It will not run away. So there will always be work and, obligations and all the stuff. And I'm also a Capricorn, so I know what work and obligations are. But really, we always need to find a balance. And the lunar cycle is such a great example and teacher for us. Like, we can't always stay on the new moon level. We can't always stay at the peak, at the full moon. Everything is constantly moving and shifting, and we need to go with this flow. And yes, there is a time to work very hard, to be committed, responsible, serious work. And there are the other times when we need to be relaxed, especially for women. Like, huge lesson for women nowadays. To relax yourself, to feel good that you won't be doing any hard work, and it's okay. And yeah, your work will not run away. It will still be there for you. So yeah, I think that this is also one of the modern problems maybe even more for women, because we try, to combine different roles: the mother, the partner, the caregiver, the businesswoman, or the teacher, or you might have 100 roles at the same time. And if you don't take care of yourself, eventually you will exhaust yourself. And I'm pretty sure every one of us has experienced that at a certain point. So the Cancer moon, yes, it is about relaxing right now at this moment, but also reminding yourself that you need this regularly. I wouldn't even say like every now and then, but it should be more. It should be regular practice. And of course, it's a great time to begin right now with the new moon. So, yes, lovely energy. It's not a harsh new moon, even though we have the square with Jupiter. It's about, also the square with Jupiter, changing priorities. Literally, like reassessment. What is at the end really important and what isn't? And if we can prioritize our inner and emotional well-being, I think that would be the ultimate success for everybody. Of course, external goals are also amazing and needed and wonderful, but they may change as well. You might also reconsider that. But yeah, overall, it's about finding this very personal inner answer. What really matters for me? Like, at the end of my day, at the end of the year, if you're ready for this big question, at the end of my life, what would really matter? The dishes, I don't know, the laundry, this project that, okay, it's kind of important right now, but in a month or so, it will be the same. And I'm not saying leave your dishes and laundry and, your projects, but just be aware of their level of importance and don't stress too much about things that are not really important. And I think here you should keep the focus on what is important for me, not the social, not other people. There will always be expectations coming from the external world, and chances are there will always be something that, you would not do the way you are expected, or like, yeah. And ultimately, even if you do what is expected, it won't be your own truth. It won't be your own priority. So that might be even more disappointing, recognizing that you have fulfilled all the expectations and you have done the best job for other people. And you don't feel like this is you and your priorities and your dreams. Like, that might be even more painful. So again, the point is not to blame ourselves, oh, I have wasted this time. It has been exactly what it, was supposed to be. Change it now. Because it's also true that our own priorities change, evolve, transform. Again, life is, like a real flow. It's not flat. So yes, don't stay kind of fixed, or stuck on something, because it is true also that it's not easy sometimes, to let go of certain priorities or dreams and to say, okay, it's a little bit like, separation in a way. Yes, I had this dream, for a few months, a few years, or even longer, but it's no longer the time for this. And again, it requires a certain level of honesty, to let your dreams go with gratitude and to define the new ones, the new priorities. So yes, magical new moon, really find your way of harmonizing yourself. Like, this is really the best you can do. All the money in the world, all the, I don't know, awards, recognitions, material stuff that you can have, all of that will be meaningless if internally you don't feel rich, if you don't feel at peace. So yes, of course, external goals, amazing, but without the internal, it wouldn't matter. So find your way. It's a journey, yes, again. The Bach flowers for me have been absolutely amazing. Homeopathy, that's even deeper, but for that you need like a medical specialist, and it's a different type of work. The Bach flowers are something that you can use on your own right away without any negative consequences or side effects. And it's extremely gentle. You might find your inner peace through meditation, through some kind of healing practices. GSR is another amazing technique, which is like, that's the real deal. Like, it's deeper than anything else. So for now, I'm offering this as a service, as help to other people. My dream and desire is to organize and help you also at a certain point learn how to do this for yourself. But that's, again, another theme for another time. But that's the deepest of everything I know so far. And I have been quite an explorer, with different methods. And, another truth that I also found, every healing modality has a potential, every. And for some people, something may work better. There might be also times when something might be more appropriate. So explore, especially when you are ready and like really want to engage in the process, because whatever healing modality you choose, you need to be part of this. Without you, it will not be possible. So yes, find your own modality, healing method, practice, try. I'm a fan of the more gentle practices, like safer methods. Some people, may go also with more extreme methods. So see what works for you. But there is an abundance. So yes, why I'm sharing this is because now is a great time to prioritize this. And you might find something new, a healing modality or something that would help you bring this inner peace and state you want to live in. Because ultimately, that's the most amazing thing. Why do we want children? Why do we want money? success, relationships. It's the feeling. It's always the inner feeling and state. So yeah. Thank you so much. GSR is a system for personal development. Probably I can translate it to this. And it works with the family field. Constellations, family constellations are another method that works with the family field, but those are very different also methods. So yes, but I know I've been telling I will like make a whole other webinar on this, and I will very soon. So I will really explain what it's about and yeah, how it works. Yeah, balance, inner balance is the theme. Yeah, beautiful. Dr. Bach loved the homeopathy, but close to use only non-poisonous plants to achieve a more gentle healing experience. Yes, 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 yes. I personally, I started before, doing this for people. Of course, I started with myself. And the best for me at that time remedy was the one which resonates with my moon. My moon is in Pisces, and the Pisces remedy is rock rose. Like, it was really amazing and balancing. So I would suggest you at least check this, like which remedy would resonate with your moon. Very often you may find, okay, yes, I really would benefit from this. It wouldn't be a harm, or there won't be any side effect even if you're taking the wrong remedy. Like, no side effects. Like, children have taken sometimes a whole bottle of the essences, and nothing happens. Of course, it's not like taking the whole healing influence on yourself at once and then boom, next day you are healthy. No, it's just like wasted, like you have drank some water. So nothing to worry about. But for children, the flowers are amazing as well. And the sign of the moon, like, because the moon is our moon in our personal chart, it's our inner state, how we feel in terms of the connection with the environment, with the world. It's about our safety. So healing our moon can really get us closer to this inner balance and peace. So this can also be a direction, coming from the new moon in Cancer, to explore your own moon in your chart and see what is it that you really need. What do you need to work on? That can be a fast process, but also usually kind of a continuous journey. Like, you can keep finding new things and they can be, again, amazing. Okay, so I'm very inspired for this new moon. I hope it brings more inner peace, more inner love that eventually we can share with the world. And yeah, we can all live in a better place without the need to escape into the fantasies and the dreams that kind of leaves us empty when we also looked into the reality. But find the bridge, how to make reality fantastic and amazing. Yeah. Thank you all for your comments here. Also on YouTube. Yes. So happy new moon. Before we leave, let's do this. Let's take a minute and just allow ourselves to feel. I don't even want to call this a meditation. I want to call this just a process of allowing yourself to feel. Let's do this right now together. And you might focus and try to feel your heart specifically. And maybe put your hand your heart that has never betrayed you, like always pumping, always there in your chest. And all the love in the world, in the universe, in yourself, that you can experience with and in your heart. So, thank you very much. I hope you have enjoyed our meeting today. For me, it was absolutely amazing. So, yes, I wish you all peace and love and happy new moon. I will see you in another magical moment very soon.